Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Flash, Season 1, Episode 6, The Flash is Born. I'm your host, Clio, and with me I have Dom.
Hello! The Flash is Born. That sounds like the title of, the first episode.
Yeah, I guess since I know him as The Flash, and I've been calling him The Flash since before he became The Flash, it didn't feel like The Flash is Born to me, the episode, you know?
At least he's not the Streak anymore.
Yes. But you know what I mean, right? We've all been calling him The Flash this entire time.
I mean, the show is called The Flash, so why...
Yeah.
It seems 6 episodes in, it seems like a very strange title.
Yeah, and I mean, I was calling him The Flash in before this show started, because he was in the Arrow show. It's actually just called Arrow, there's no the in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been calling him The Flash since before he became The Flash.
Fair enough.
I think I actually forgot, I'm not sure, we may have forgotten to talk about this last episode, but the bestie breakup, did we talk about that? Between Barry and
Oliver?
Iris?
No, I don't think we did, actually.
I don't think we should see each other anymore.
Right.
And I know it was an emotional scene, but I was on the floor laughing.
Yeah, it felt very awkward and completely misplaced to me. I don't really know. You would think somebody who's been, these two have been so close for so long, that would seem awkward to them, and neither one of them would really accept it, but they just kind of both were like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think Iris knew that Barry was acting weird, and Barry was just like, Joe, I don't know what to tell you. I can't convince her. And I don't think he could deal with feeling like he couldn't stop her from putting herself in danger.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree with that.
But yeah, I refer to it as the bestie breakup scene.
Yeah, I can see that. It was extremely awkward, and it's even awkward just talking about it right now. I feel awkward.
And it's even more awkward, all the Lois Lane scenes that they have on, the rooftop of the coffee shop.
Yeah, and the worst part is, in Smallville, Lois Lane actually had, a sense of who the Blur was. She was investigating. She was, lurking around the Clark, farm, trying to, see what was going on with him. And in this one, it's Iris has no idea whatsoever that Barry's the Flash.
Yeah, and I think that carries over from her having no idea Barry has feelings for her.
Yeah, she's just oblivious all around.
I wouldn't say all around, but I think when it comes to Barry, she's a little oblivious.
Yeah, maybe she...
she's got every aspect of Barry down except for that he likes her and he's also the Flash.
Yeah, I mean, she probably just let her guard down because she's known him for so long and she knows what to expect from him, or she thinks she does, that she can't get past that. That's probably where it is.
Probably. Yeah, but those Lois Lane scenes are just, they drive me crazy.
I agree. I want her to get caught in the loop. I think she needs to know.
Yeah. How long do you think before she figures it out? Because she's not dumb. She's smart.
I give it 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Because they've been pushing it faster than I thought they were.
Mm-hmm.
So at the pace that they've kind of established and set up, I give it 2 or 3 episodes.
Well, the next couple episodes are going to get, stuff is going to get tossed around a bit because we're approaching the crossovers.
Yeah? We're only, 2 episodes away from the crossover?
Yep. Mm-hmm. The episode after next.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I know. So we're probably going to be away from Central City for a while.
Could be, or maybe it's going to span both cities.
It might, yeah, no, that's true. But definitely the Arrows crossover episode is going to be in Starling City. And I have a feeling that those 2 episodes are going to be closely related, if
I'm
not
hoping
directly after one another.
I'm hoping they don't do a here's the same episode but from a different point of view kind of thing.
I've read both synopsises. They're completely different.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a totally different plot for each episode. And I'll talk about it non-spoilery a little later. But yeah, that's
Okay.
they're 2 totally different episodes.
Good.
So what's his name? Tony told the Flash, you look like you were born to take a beating. And when Barry tells the team that it felt familiar, Wells sort of like looks over like intently, like, oh really? This is important. What do you think? What do you think about it? Piqued his interest.
What do you mean by like the fact that he recognized that it was his childhood friend or childhood bully?
Yeah,
I should
you know
say.
what? I don't know, because when Barry was telling them about the attack and how the line that Tony delivered seemed familiar, like at that point he didn't know who Tony was.
Oh, so
He just said something about what he told me seemed familiar, and Wells just goes like,
Do you think?
cool.
Do you think that guy's related to Wells?
Maybe. We get a little bit of Wells's past in when he goes and talks to Joe, and he tells Joe to look up, what was the lady's name? His wife who died. Shit, Grant something. I forgot.
Oh,
I'll
I
look it
don't
up later.
remember.
But,
I'm the worst person to ever ask what a name was.
I know I wrote it down. So
I usually just say Roger when I don't know.
Roger. Yeah,
So I don't think
Tess
it was
Morgan. Tess Morgan.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't think it's a female named Roger.
It could be, but that was his wife, and 14 years ago. 14 years ago. Around the same time that Barry's mother was killed, his wife died, and they had lived somewhere else, and he moved to Central City.
Just so happened he opened his lab 4 months after the incident, he said, or 4 weeks. Joe had looked into it and he's like, Wells, your first lab opened up 4 months, I think it was 4 months after the murder of Barry's parents or something, right?
Yeah, I think it was also, I feel like whatever happened to Tess happened on the same day
as the lab being open, or as Barry's parents?
As Nora Allen being murdered.
Huh.
I think those 2 deaths happened on the same day, because Wells was being vague and said it was like around that same time.
Right.
So yeah, I think she died. He moved to Central City. But then there's a whole other set of questions, because after Wells gets like mad at Joe, or Wells knows that Joe's looking into Nora's death, and then here comes Reverse Flash stealing the files and threatening Iris. So no one else knows that he's looking into Nora's death except for Wells.
Right.
Unless there's someone else we know. Oh, we don't know who knows. We don't know who knows?
We don't know who knows. We don't.
Yeah. I don't know, but I think there's... My dad calls me crazy. He's like, no, Wells can't be the Reverse Flash. I'm like, I'm telling you. It's him.
I don't know. Like...
I know, it's driving me crazy thinking about it.
It
drive me so crazy I went back to read Flashpoint. Because it's got a very Flashpoint feel. about how this plot's going, because the whole time travel, the changing of the past or keeping the past the same. How I don't actually know what Wells's goal is. But,
Right.
yeah.
But
And the
so
just,
in the comics, it's Eddie who's the Reverse Flash.
yes, and I don't know if it's the same for all iterations of Reverse Flash, but his name is. It sounds like Eddie Fane, but it's actually like spelt like Eodie. Some Eddie is spelt really weird
Right.
because it's like a future name.
Okay.
Because Reverse Flash comes from the future.
Right. So.
But I didn't realize this was how Reverse Flash's powers worked until I read Flashpoint. But actually, the Reverse Flash needs Flash in order to have his powers, because what Barry and other of the Flashes, what they do is they generate the energy of the Speed Force, and that energy is what the Reverse Flash needs to be fast.
Right.
Like,
Well,
Barry being
Eddie
fast generates the Speed Force, and
Eddie so far is not giving off any powers.
no, or any ulterior motives.
Right, and
He doesn't seem shady.
we see him and Barry sparring and stuff this episode. You know, that was like a really cool scene.
That was the best. It was like super bro moment.
Yeah. And it's got to be awkward for Barry
Oh, yeah.
cuz it's like
But I
he
definitely
loves the
think
girl that that Eddie's in love with, or
yeah.
whatever, but it's that the sandbag it had a rip seam
They
already.
had a tear.
Yeah.
It's my fault.
Yeah, that was funny, but like you would think that we'd see something out of Eddie at that point if he was exuberating any of these powers, which he's not. And the only one that we know something's fishy up with is Wells. So I might have to agree with you on the fact that they're going to switch it up and make Wells the Reverse Flash.
Mm-hmm. I also don't think that it's crazy out of the question to think that they could have two Reverse Flashes
Mm-hmm.
and have, Wells be Professor Zoom and have Eddie somehow turn out to be Reverse Flash.
Right.
I don't think that's off the table either. My dad also thinks I'm crazy for thinking that too, but
What about Joe's theory about the second particle accelerator?
I mean, we don't exactly know what Wells and his wife were working on before she died.
Right.
So it's possible.
Whatever she died could have been dealing with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What if Wells' wife is the Reverse Flash?
Ooh. 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 I would like that. That'd be fun.
She
But
didn't
we don't know.
actually
We literally
die.
know nothing about her.
Right. I'm saying, what if she didn't actually die? She went into the past,
Yeah, maybe.
or would that be the future? I
Would
don't
it be the
know.
future?
Maybe it would be the future because
It would be the future.
because then that would have been the same incident as Barry's mother's death, and then Wells' fascination with the future now would explain why he's looking at it, and maybe he needs Barry to be able to get her somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, because we still don't know why he's lying about his legs either.
Right.
Because he can stand, he can walk. He just pretends to be in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Probably to garner sympathy and have people look
Yeah,
at the particle accelerator, not at him.
Right, and to make them, because he was clearly walking around before the particle accelerator incident. We saw that in the flashbacks. So yeah. I think if he also appeared injured from the particle accelerator, that takes some of the heat off his back, because he was injured in the experiment too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that might be it. But I mean, I don't know, because if he wants to save his wife, I don't even know if that's what he wants to do. We have no idea what he wants.
We don't have any motive whatsoever. All we know is he's very interested in Barry. That's all we know.
But like I was explaining the Reverse Flash's powers, and this would put more of a spotlight on him being Wells being the Reverse Flash, is that he wants, and he always has, tried to protect Barry because he needs Barry to be living and to be, using his powers in order for him in order for the Reverse Flash to have his powers.
Right.
So that would be a reason why Wells would want Barry alive, and not only alive, but using his powers on a daily basis.
Right.
Because the more he uses his powers, the more Speed Force energy there is in the world. The more power the Reverse Flash can draw from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
But actually, and I didn't know this, but not only can the Reverse Flash travel in time, so can Barry.
Can
But
he
that's a
go
power
back
in
in
his future.
time?
He could.
Can he go forward in time?
He could.
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure. Because actually, and Joe digging into Nora's death made me think of this, but when we saw the scene of Nora's murder, she had the yellow and red lightning around her, but then Barry gets, like, teleported out of there.
Right, so that could
And
be
I think
Barry
this may
saving Barry?
It's Barry saving Barry, yeah. And I think we're entering into paradox
Territory, yeah.
territory here, which is actually what happens in Flashpoint. A paradox gets created.
There we go.
It's not a paradox from Barry touching Barry. It's a paradox from Barry touching Reverse Flash. They both went back into the past to this one moment, and
right. Well, they could use the time travel theory, which I mean, according to what we saw already, it seems like this is the theory that they're going with, and it's whatever happened happened, which means you can't actually change the past or can't change the past. The future is whatever, but you cannot change the past. Because whatever has already happened, and anything that you do to try to change that is only going to perpetuate the motion even further. So by us seeing that Barry was already saved, means Barry's going to be saved. Like, there's no way to change that. So by him going into the past, he's saving it. So it already happened, we already saw it. So when the future Barry catches up, he's going to go into the past and do that, if that's the case. If that was Barry saving Barry to begin with.
Yeah, but how it works and how it worked in the comics was, I think, there was a timeline already in place. Then Reverse Flash went back, killed Nora Allen, and then that changed the timeline to what we have now with the Flash and Barry and his powers. And so when something like that gets changed, the current Barry starts to lose his memories, and those memories get switched out with the new timeline's memories.
Right.
And that's a big part of Flashpoint. He's trying to hold on to his he's trying to hold on to his memories from the previous timeline before stuff got changed.
Right. Whew. Time travel. Another show that I have to deal with time travel.
Sorry.
Not that it's unexpected. Because they showed it pretty early on. It was what, episode 2? 3?
What?
When he showed the newspaper from the future.
That was the first episode.
Was it the first episode?
Yes, it was. It was the last 5 seconds of the first episode.
Okay, for some reason I'm thinking that was like the second or third. But like I said, I can't say it's coming out of nowhere, because they've established it fairly early on, and
that
it's
not
still coming as kind of a surprise, because I don't know much about the Flash to begin with, but I was not expecting time travel when I walked into this show. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, totally. And this show is doing a very good job of being like, yeah, there's time travel involved. Wells is evil, but when that reveal happens, there's just so much we don't know that when it's revealed, we're still gonna be like, holy shit! It's still gonna just blow our minds.
For sure.
So, Iris gets threatened by Reverse Flash after Joe's research and the whole police file of Nora Allen's death gets stolen. Do you think Joe's paranoia is justified now?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's I don't know, Iris is definitely put in harm's way this episode.
Oh yeah, not just with the threat, but she does actually legitimately get kidnapped.
Yeah. So Joe's 100% justified for his paranoia. I don't even think it's paranoia. It's just detective thinking. That's not even detective thinking. That's common sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and I think I had this revelation while we were doing the podcast last week, but I was like, something must have happened to Iris's mother to make him so insanely protective.
Right.
Yeah. But we sort of saw Iris as a bit of a damsel in distress. She does punch the fuck out of Tony at the end, which
she's
was
like
fabulous.
She's like, Princess Peach a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
She's
I mean, a little bit.
A little bit.
She is a damsel in distress, but she did do something at the end.
Yeah, but as Archon D is saying in chat, he goes, the best part of the episode was the supersonic punch. And
yeah.
that when he was running back and he's just like, Cisco's like, he's running exactly 8.3 miles whatever
away.
It was. Yeah. 5.3 exactly.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden he just but if that was the case, why did he close the doors? Wouldn't that slow the momentum? He didn't do that
on purpose. I think that was him running so fast the doors closed behind him.
Okay.
Because when he came back, like, I'm pretty sure the speed he was going, like, his force pushed the doors open. Like, he probably didn't even have to do anything to the doors. Right. They were open before he even got there.
Okay. But
I just love Cisco is just like Sonic Boom. Mwah.
Yeah, so
he's consistently my favorite character.
He clocked him, but I love the computer analyzations that they were running beforehand, and they're just like, oh, he just shattered.
It's just like blood mist.
He just shattered. So.
And Cisco was like, oh.
Let me recalculate again.
I do some more math.
Yeah. So it had to be hit at the right speed and the right angle, which Barry just happened to pull off.
Well, he knew the right angle because they had a boxing lesson.
Right. Yeah, no.
It's not like he just hit the right angle by luck.
Right.
They did actually train a little bit. Which is good because none of the nerd squad could have told him how exactly to hit the punch.
Right. Yeah. They seem like they would be able to calculate it better, which they clearly weren't able to do, because I don't think their simulation ever actually got it right.
Probably not, but...
But yeah, it's all thanks to Eddie.
It's all on the wrist.
But I was hoping we were going to see something with using... what's it, Tony? Tony was the guy?
Yeah.
I was hoping we were going to see Barry use Tony's momentum against him.
Yeah.
That's what I thought we were going to see with that.
In a way, he did. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think because the build-up for the Sonic Boom had to be 5 miles, and that wasn't going to be an instantaneous thing.
Right.
But we sort of saw him with the dodging.
Yeah, but I was hoping he was going to, like, take his wrist or something while he's swinging and bring him around for, like, a bigger swing to, like, catch him off balance or something.
Yeah.
I was hoping we were going to see something along those lines.
I mean, this isn't a spoiler because the name of the episode is going to be called The Flash versus the Arrow.
Right.
And that's the Arrow
2 weeks
crossover.
From now, though, right? That's not next week.
No, that's the Flash. Yes, it is 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
But I'm thinking some of those techniques he could use against Ollie, because Ollie is a very well-trained fighter. But
he is, but I don't know, like, Tony seems to be, like, a bigger deal than that.
I no, Tony is a musclehead. He's a meathead. He uses force, not
right. But what is Ollie gonna do against the Flash?
I don't know. Ollie fights like a ninja. I honestly couldn't tell you how that fight's gonna go.
That's what I mean, because Tony was just able to get him through brute force, and he could have killed Barry many times over.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think Ollie would even be able to handle Tony. I mean, he'd probably wrap him up in like
Ollie's fought.
rope arrows and like keep
Yeah.
him subdued, but he wouldn't be able to go toe to toe with him.
He wouldn't have been able to stop his powers like that. I'm pretty sure Ollie would have come up with some way to stop him.
Right. So it's gonna be interesting to see how
Yeah.
Arrowverse, because it seems in favor of the Flash right now.
Yeah, it does. And yeah, I don't know. I honestly can't. Like, I would think I was talking about it in the Arrow podcast, but I was just like trying to figure things out. And at the end, I was just like, I don't know. I honestly can't predict this. Yeah. So Barry reveals his identity to Tony in order to gloat. Was that a dumbass move?
Yeah. I definitely think it was. I think it's gonna come back to bite him in the ass later.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, because I think Captain Cold and his fire accomplice, whose name I forget, are gonna break those guys out of Star Labs, and then they're gonna start the Rogues, which is the supervillain team-up group, which is gonna be very bad for everybody.
I'm trying to see Captain Cold and
not Firestorm, the other fire guy.
Heatwave?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
But speaking of that, Iris mentions Firestorm. She said someone on her on her blog space said that they saw a man running around who was on fire.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure the thing about Firestorm is that he can't control his flame.
Right, so he's not like the Human Torch, flame on.
No. He is more like a radioactive ball of fire that he can't control. And his suit is what ends up controlling it. Yeah, so that's what I remember about Firestorm. And I hope he comes soon, because Caitlin's gonna be like really, really heartbroken.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be some feels.
They're definitely gonna be feel. I can't wait to see that reunion.
Yeah. We also had Iris narrating.
We did.
She's writing her blog. Do you think she's gonna be the new narrator? I would actually be totally okay with that.
I would too. I enjoyed it. It was nice and fresh because, as you mentioned, like at one point Barry did seem a little awkward doing it. Like, it worked for the first episode, but
yeah, but then he like broke the fourth wall, and it was like, who are you talking to?
Yeah,
but
so Iris doing it makes more sense.
Through her blog, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I like it a lot better that way. I hope they keep it up.
Yeah. So next episode is called Power Outage. The Flash goes up against Farquaad, aka Blackout, who's a metahuman that can harness electricity. The Flash siphons all his. Oh no, wait. Farquaad zaps the Flash's electricity, whatever, leaving him without.
Farquaad or Farouk?
Farouk? I don't know.
There was a.
I think I'm
it's
thinking
spelled
of
Farooq, and there was a WWF wrestler named Farouk, and it was spelled that way. So
that's probably what it is. You want to know what I'm thinking of? I'm thinking of Shrek.
Aha! There you go.
Farquaad. Anyway, Farouk zaps Barry's electricity, which I didn't think that. I don't think that's how that works. I don't remember that being how it works.
I don't know, because he's got his powers was imbued through a lightning storm, so
Science. That is true. So maybe it is, but I guess I should have. I don't know. I never really thought of the Speed Force as being lightning itself, electricity itself. But I guess it is, because
very
the
much
body
could be. Yeah,
uses electricity. So I guess it's just I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, it makes sense though.
Yeah. A lot of other shit happens.
Oh, I like that synopsis. That's in the synopsis, right?
A lot of shit happens. Just a lot of shit happens. Yeah, and so Team Flash have to. I just don't want to read that whole paragraph. Team Flash has to deal without Barry's powers, and then
Caitlin and Cisco reverse the effects on Barry, but their efforts are disrupted when Farouk comes banging on Star Lab's door in search of Wells, who he blames for his accident. Yeah. Although Barry's powers are protecting, the group must find a way to save themselves from the metahuman. Meanwhile, Talkman. Who's Talkman?
I think it's actually Clockman. I don't know why they called him Talk. I don't remember him being called Talkman, but he was in an episode of Arrow.
Okay.
He's just a very smart, calculated mastermind of stealing things, and he's got a vendetta against a lot of people.
Manages a coup inside the Central City Police Department and takes several people hostage, including Joe and Iris. When Iris is sure the Flash will save them, Eddie has a trick up his sleeve. Ooh, Eddie. So
Eddie.
Maybe we're gonna see some hints of Eddie's powers, if any, at this point.
If he has any, yeah. Because the thing about Reverse Flash is he just didn't get his powers from like an accident like Barry did.
Right.
I think he actively sought them out and has them because he taps into the Speed Force.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, I think that's how that works. So yeah, I'm very excited because next week we're getting
The
Flash.
build-up.
This episode, Power Outage on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. Wednesday.
Arrow's crossover episode on Wednesday.
Yep.
And then the following Tuesday will be the Flash versus the Arrow.
Right. I'm very curious how they're going to set this up to make it make sense for both shows.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more concerned with, because I have a feeling we're just going to get a previously, and we're going to get a recap of what happened on the Arrow episode. And then I'm going to be like, what? And be really confused. So I hope they don't do that.
Hope they'll set it up in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I think Talkman is going to... Or Clockman. Whatever the fuck his name is. I think his name is William Talkman. So his last name is Talkman, but his... Clock King is his alter ego. Okay. So the Clock King, I think, is going to... Barry's going to look at this Clock King and be like, oh... Ollie dealed with him in Starling City. I'm gonna go find out what's up. And that's he's gonna come into to Arrow's episode the following day. So.
Could be.
Yeah. So that's all for this episode.
Yeah.
Dom, where can the people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
You can find me at Cleomoto and all of us on ASOTV Podcast, Facebook, Twitter, Google+, Gmail, YouTube, MySpace. Drop us a line. Tell us what's up. Correct me if I'm wrong with my DC lore.
Yeah.
Any of that stuff. So,
Indeed.
We'll see you next week. And if you watch Arrow, go watch my Arrow podcast.
Do it.
Right here.
See you guys later.
Hi, everyone. Phenomenon.
Damn it, I thought we were done with it. It's so close.